Yo, do y'all see these edges? It's a hot ass mess. All right, so listen, I want to go ahead and talk about something a little bit different. Don Lemon and CNN. I do believe that Don Lemon is about to be fired. I do believe that Don Lemon is on the chopping block. I do believe that Don Lemon better, tread lightly, sis, okay? Because these people in a company, they don't really see it for you. And, it's not really looking that great. And so as a whole, CNN has been a mess. I don't know if you guys are privy to this information, but y'all know the CNN Center downtown in Atlanta. They're getting rid of that. They are making their headquarters, they're moving it to the Techwood building in Midtown and all of that. So I think it's cost-cutting measures. Okay. They also got rid of the CNN Plus. Remember last year they launched CNN Plus? Yeah. That was done after a week and a half of being on the market. Their sister network, HLN, they're getting rid of all of their original programming. So no more Morning Express with Robin Meade. None of that. Isn't that crazy? That used to be my favorite morning show. Used to watch it all the time my freshman year in college. So no more Morning Express. They are getting rid of producers over there at CNN. They're getting rid of anchors. They're switching up, the time slots and who is going to be daytime and who's going to be prime time and all of these things. And so CNN, HBO, Time Warner, Discovery, all of those companies, they're in this very weird transitional stage right now. And CNN is just another product of their dysfunction, right? And so this Don Lemon situation, it really says more about CNN and their dysfunction than it does about Don Lemon. But Don Lemon, you're an employee. Therefore, you have to play into office politics. Therefore, you got to watch what you do and watch what you say. Because if we just put together the context clues, you're already teetering and tottering on being fired. Now you say, Aaron, why do you say that? You're asking, why are you saying that he was already, about to be fired? Well, when you get a demotion, that means that the company is struggling. And they pointed you out. They didn't demote Anderson Cooper. They demoted Don Lemon. Okay, y'all see how that goes? So that just goes to show, who do they value more, Anderson Cooper or Don Lemon? They value Anderson Cooper more. And so when they're doing their cost cutting, and quiet as it's kept, y'all, I think the reason why, and this is just a word on the curb, this is rumored, they're saying that they're getting rid of a lot of producers and a lot of anchors because they want to phase out their most liberal voices to attract the moderate viewers, which I think is kind of trash because that's only ostracizing CNN's base. Folks like me who are going to do nothing but turn the TV on to MSNBC, and Morning Joe is already my favorite morning news program. I mean, I'm just saying. And so listen, I say that to say, CNN used to have the big three, okay? But I guess the cost cutting and then wanting to be more moderate, they're getting rid of some of the folks. Okay, so Chris Cuomo was fired because he was using his journalistic connections to help out his brother who was engulfed in those scandals up there in New York City with the women and whatnot, right? He was also a part of some other, scandals that really didn't make the light of day, but they ended up getting rid of him. Chris Cuomo ended up coming out and basically said that when he found out he was fired from CNN, he was going through a rough time emotionally and mentally, and that he wanted to unalive himself and unalive everybody else with him. Very unfortunate. I liked it. Chris Cuomo, him and Don Lemon were best friends. Chris Cuomo came in first. He came on first. I forgot what the name of his thing was called, but he came on first, and then he would throw it to Don Lemon, I think. And then Don Lemon would throw his show to Anderson Cooper. Well, now Chris Cuomo is going, and they were the big three. They were primetime. If you don't know, primetime on the East Coast is 8 to 11, which means that's peak TV hours, which means most folks are watching TV between 8 and 11 because after 11, everybody is asleep, mostly everybody. And before, throughout the day, everybody's at work. He had that coveted spot, which means you are one of the stars of the network, right? Well, not any longer. I feel like I have something on my face. Well, not any longer. You're not the star any longer. And so I guess they were looking at, okay, well, Don Lemon, he's a little bit too liberal for us. We want to, attract some of that Fox News viewership. Don Lemon, he costs a little bit too much. let's pull him into a meeting. And so they pull Don Lemon into a meeting and they go, Don, sorry, brother, but you're canceled. You're to done for. We just don't have the budget for you. Sorry, man. So Anderson Cooper can be drunk with Andy Cohen, and Chris Cuomo has to have this major scandal for you to fire him. And I've done nothing but do my job, which if you have your ears to the street, there's some scandals about, Don Lemon. If you know, you know. But Don Lemon was like, oh my God, me? Why me? So anyways, they didn't fire him completely. They ended up demoting him, okay? From prime time, which is the most coveted hours of television, to daytime. He went from CNN Tonight, which turned into Don Lemon Tonight. Then he was demoted to CNN This Morning. CNN used to have a morning show called New Day. They canceled New Day and decided to have this new morning show. Not only was Don Lemon going to host this new morning show during the daytime, but he was going to share the platform with two women anchors, Poppy Harlow and Caitlin Collins. Caitlin Collins was a White House correspondent for CNN, and I guess she got promoted to this morning show. When I found that out, I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess he's taking one for the team. I'm surprised he did that because, Don Lemon has a lot of ego and, he's a diva. Don Lemon is a diva. So I'm surprised that he, signed on for this demotion. But, I guess he's being a trooper. He's being a team player. So I stopped watching. This is like November of last year. I stopped tuning into Morning Joe to give CNN This Morning a chance. And I would tune in on a Monday and I would notice that Caitlin Collins and Don Lemon had this very, 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 very awkward banter. And I would be like, what's going on? Then I skipped out on Morning Joe on a Tuesday and decided to tune in to CNN This Morning. And I noticed that the banter was still awkward. Then I would tune in the second week, the same issues. Then I would tune in for the third week and the fourth week, and the show has been on for 2 months, and they're still interrupting each other. So Don Lemon is sitting there at the desk, quoting somebody, quoting Secretary Blinken. He said that the folks need to, we need national security, domestic terrorism, whatever, this, that, and the third. Caitlin Collins comes in and she says what she wants to say right in the middle of Don Lemon reading his quote, and Don Lemon snaps and says, can you let me finish? And then you can say what you got to say. When I tell you I was gagging, I thought I was watching The View. I said, drama? There's drama. And I knew that was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen because you can't keep interrupting this man. Now, this is a transition for this man. This man is going from his own show. He is getting a pay cut from prime time to daytime. Now he has to share the spotlight with Poppy Harlow and Caitlin Collins. Don Lemon already isn't happy at the situation, but he's taking one for the team. He's taking one for the team. And then Caitlin Collins has the nerve to interrupt him. He had an attitude. And he wasn't going to let her slide. Okay, and Caitlin Collins, I think, is the youngest one of all three of them, and she's not used to being a sit-at-the-desk anchor. Caitlin, like I've already said, is used to being on the field, just being on her own. So it was a situation like, okay, I'm the newbie. I'm the new girl. I'm not used to being a sit-at-the-desk anchor. Don Lemon, he's a little salty. So it's a whole situation. I found this article from the Daily Mail, and the Daily Mail. Oop, not that article, child. Hold on, child. Don Lemon screamed at CNN This Morning co-host after he accused her of interrupting him during a broadcast, leaving the 30-year-old in tears and the crew rattled. Don Lemon allegedly yelled at Caitlin Collins off air for interrupting him. Collins ran off the CNN This Morning set in tears in front of the production crew. Sources claim Lemon is difficult to work with since his solo show was cut. To summarize it, he got demoted. Now that he's demoted, now that he's doing his show, he's not really getting along with Caitlin Collins nor Poppy Harlow. And then on top of the fact, mind you, let's look at the optics. Don Lemon, a gay black man, sandwiched in between two white women. Poppy Harlow, Caitlin Collins. One is more seasoned. One is more of a newbie. She's younger. So understand how a woman's brain works. when we're bringing up topics like the pay disparity between male and female athletes. They were talking about the pay disparity between male and female athletes. And Don Lemon basically said, well, we live in a capitalist society where, capitalism rewards, folks who are in demand. Women's sports just aren't in demand. Basically justifying why women don't get paid at the same rate as men in sports. Don Lemon takes heat for defending men's sports earning more money. We live in a Fox? Really? We live in a capitalist society. Don, you're sitting in between two women. Don. And they kept trying to tell him, it's not about them matching the dollar. It's not about the female athletes matching the dollar to the male dollar. It's about them getting paid at the same rate. It's about them getting paid at the same rate. And Don Lemon said, I don't care about that. I get it. I understand why women ain't paid the same, because ain't nobody sitting there to watch no WNBA. And had the nerve to break the exclusive breaking news that Brittany Griner was finna be released from Russia, child. I'm sorry, y'all. My mouth is really dry. Girl. Done. Now, even if you are correct, let's just say, I'm not saying he correct, but let's just say he is correct. Let's just say that is a fact. Let's just say you do believe that. Why in the hell would you say that sitting in front of these two women? And then last week, y'all know that Nikki Haley, former governor of South Carolina, former UN ambassador to the, United Nations, she announced that she's, running for the Republican nomination for president against former president Cheeto Chief in Charge. Her platform is, we need a new, younger, fresher generation of Republican leadership in D.C. I'm young and Donald Trump is old. Vote for me. That's basically her platform. And so Don Lemon says, well, she should be careful, about talking about who's in their prime and who's not in their prime, because according to Google, a woman like you, a woman of your age, is not in their prime. Sir, Alexa, how old is Nikki Haley?
Nikki Haley is 50 years old.
Sir, and I think he was alluding to the fact that she's a woman of a particular age, and according to Google, let me see if I can Google a woman in her prime. What is a woman's prime age? Late 30s to early 40s, but can extend far into the 50s. A woman's prime is referring to an age range where a woman feels physically and sexually at her peak. Often it's in her late 30s to early 40s, but can extend far into the 50s. Not you talking about this woman's prime. Again, even if you felt like it was kind of rude. It was rude. Okay. Not only was it rude, but even again, if you felt like that, you're sitting in between two women. So y'all, then everybody was flabbergasted at the situation. They were like, not this gay black man talking about a woman's prime on broadcast television. Oh my God. Not broadcast, but cable, child. Cable. They were flabbergasted. They were shocked. Okay. They said that Don Lemon needed to apologize to the entire organization and the viewership of CNN this morning. And that's exactly what he did, child. That's exactly what he did. So I want to go ahead. He sent out a tweet and an apology to CNN. Let's see. The Los Angeles Times. Don Lemon apologizes for an artful on-air comment about when a woman is in her prime. He ended up apologizing to the public on Twitter, but then had to apologize during a phone call during like an all-staff meeting or something like that. He said, the reference I made to a woman's prime this morning was inartful and irrelevant. As colleagues and loved ones have pointed out, and I regret it, a woman's age does not define her either personally or professionally. I have countless women in my life who prove that every day. And then, y'all, child, he did not show up after he gave that apology onto Twitter. I think this all happened on a Thursday. Last Friday, child, he went to Miami with his man, child. Don Lemon went to Miami with his man and ain't looked back. Look at this. Look at this. This from Daily Mail. Not a care in the world. Don Lemon frolics in the ocean with his fiance at a $2,000 a night hotel in Miami as he shrugs off sexism row, despite CNN boss calling his behavior unacceptable. Chris Litch, the CEO, branded Don Lemon's comments as unacceptable during a 9 a.m. editorial call for This Morning. Lemon joined the call for 90 seconds from Miami and said that he did not mean to offend anyone. He looked relaxed as he chatted and laughed with his partner at a luxury beach resort. Child, look at this man. He said, if y'all are going to push me out of CNN, I'm going with all of my PTO. Okay, I'm taking my days off. I'm going on my vacation. He looks really good right here. And I like his hair better like this. I don't know. Like his hair be looking crunchy, but it looks good right here. He said, y'all is not finna do me like how y'all did Chris. Like how y'all did my best friend Chris. Don, you next on the hit list, child. You is next. He looks really cute. Like his face and his hair. He be looking old, but he's been looking good lately. Him and his boyfriend, I guess, child. There's him on that phone, child. Okay, look at him. On that call with the CEO talking about I didn't mean to offend anyone. While frolicking on the beach, how Daily Mail said, not a care in the world, child. It's a whole hot damn mess. So listen, not only is CNN in shambles right now as a network as a whole, but one of the stars of the network, Mr. Don Lemon, I believe is on the verge of being fired. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this entire messy situation in the comments down below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to create a great day.